Now, if you're in parts of the country where you can go out and drive, remember there are many parts right now where the AQI is all right. You have, for example, Bangalore, parts of South India where the AQI is fine. We're going to tell you what you can take out on the road next. This is Skoda's latest release. It's the Skoda Kylaq. And we'll talk a little bit about what makes this unique in a very crowded SUV market. Our next report will tell you all about the luxury features, the technology range, the performance, and finally, obviously, Overdrive is going to share its verdict. Is this a car that you should go to the market for? Take a look.
Hello and welcome to Overdrive. I'm Rohit Paradkar and this is the new Skoda Kylaq. Of course, the name is not here. The ones inside will have all the branding loud and clear. That's the name that the Indians have chosen for the car. This is a car made for India by Skoda India with a high level of localization. This is their first proper sub 4 meter crossover offering. Let's not count the Fabia Scout in there because this is a proper SUV look. It's derived from the Kodiaq, of course, in terms of the design, in terms of the platform. It is built on the A0iN, which means it's sharing some of its underpinnings with the Kylaq. So let's take a closer look at the vehicle and talk about what are the key changes, what are the key highlights, and how it is different from its sibling, the Kylaq. Well, first thing, like I said, the design, it comes from the Kodiaq. It's inspired by the Kodiaq, which is why you get the headlights in the bumper, you get that beautiful LED brow, and you get this proper 3D ribbed effect for the grille. Now, when I showed you the L-Rock, I did mention that in all likelihood, you're going to see a Skoda lettering over here. You can even see the size of that dimple right there. That was to accommodate the Skoda lettering, but they have gone with the Skoda logo instead. That's because Indians, our market, we associate with this logo quite well, which is the reason why you will see the Skoda logo at the front. But when we step to the rear, you will see the Skoda lettering. We'll do that in a bit. Let's also talk about some of the other key design highlights. You see this prominent crease around the headlight assembly. Now, these are LED headlamps. You see the projector beam right there. You're also going to get a cornering light function with it. And these LEDs or this headlamp assembly is going to be standard across the range. So even if you were to settle for the entry-level Kylaq, you are still going to get this LED DRL brow and the LED headlights. Now, this is going to be the signature color. They are calling it the olive gold or the olive green, whichever way you want to look at it. And I think all these design details stand out quite nicely. If you also turn our attention to the bonnet, you will see prominent creases out here. You get this really nice pinched line which goes all the way to the window line, and then you get these indentations right here, a massive indentation here as well, which lends a nice and sporty appeal to the car. Now, I know there are quite a bit of reflections here because I'm trying to show you the car in the real world, but I think it looks really gorgeous, right? So that is going to be the olive green color. Like I said, all these lines are nicely highlighted. There's of course going to be a red, there's going to be a subtle gray if you want that, and you will also see a FOSS skid plate down below in that matte satin finish. The mesh treatment on top looks quite nice too. You can see the radiator right behind that, but it's not looking like an eyesore at all. It's a clean design. If you look at the front end, it's a very clean looking design and the paint quality is really good. Now, another thing I need to point out is the wipers don't look too basic. I think that has been quite nicely done as well. I was worried that since it's a made for India car, there might be some cheap bits or stuff that makes it look cheap. No, none of that is here. It's very nicely designed. We'll move over to the wheels as well. 17 inches is what you're going to get on the top end variants. They are shod with 205/55 section tires. Now, these are going to be the Seat Secura drive, at least at launch. You'll also see a bit of green over there, so you get this beautiful pearlescent finish on this particular color. The red is of course a solid red, so that is going to be a little different in the way it appears. Now, you get the request sensor even for the passenger side, and if you look down below, you get this beautiful pattern on it. It's subtly done, but a nice pattern that you will see on those rub rails or on those rocker panels. In fact, that section has been given quite a tall or a broad or a thick design, and that's to give this vehicle a nice vertical stance because they want it to look imposing, which is why even the front end has an absolutely straight profile and it gives it that nice vertically tall stance. Now let's move over to the rear. The rear is, I think, where they should have taken a little bit more inspiration from the other Skoda cars, especially the Kodiaq. I would have liked to see slightly bigger, slightly longer tail lights, and when I say longer, horizontally, that would have been much better. It would have established a nice sense of width also to the car, not just the sense of height that they're trying to go with. So you see that down below, there is the 4 skid plate that you see right below as well. And as I was saying, the Skoda lettering on it and those stubby LED tail lights. Now this particular design detail, it reminds me of some of the older Skoda and Volkswagen cars like the Polo, for example, or even the older Rapid, and it's a nice design touch. Again, the sculpting is quite nicely done on the entire boot. And speaking of the boot, let's also step in and see what the boot space is going to be like. So let's do that in a bit, but let's just finish the exterior bits first. You get this rising window line, which again adds to the effect. I also like how they have done a little bit of that 3D effect there. It really adds to the premium appeal. I like how it rises up. I like how the whole window line rises up. And then we also have these roof rails right on top.